Hi, Anthony here from West Coast Custom Concrete. Today's video will be the last of a series of my Laguna Beach job. It's the last job. We have a little 3 yard slab in the farthest point in the shade in the corner. So it may seem easy 3 yards, but it's a full day because it's in the shade and we got the drains over there. I brought my pump. I'm setting this up over here and I'm just dragging the hose down. This is the last day. I got to go up and down this godforsaken hill. Just rolling it out. I'm going to string it down. The way I run my business is you can run a mom and pop operation and have like one employee and get away that way, or have a little business here and there. But if you're going to augment your pay and get into the hundreds of thousands of dollars and the bigger stuff and smaller, you have to have money coming from three different areas. And the way I've accomplished that is I have a pump company, a bobcat, and dump truck service, and I'm a concrete contractor that pours jobs all over, what you've seen. And what I'll do is I'll come and bid. I do all the bidding of the jobs. I do the layout. I do the material takeoff. I line up the guys, how many I need, who to bring. And I come to the jobs and I'm there on days making sure everything's okay. I'm checking elevations. And then what I do is I leave, I go run my Bobcat or I go pump other jobs. So I can augment my pay by double and triple by doing it the way I do it. In California, concrete finishers are about 300 a day. So if I stayed and helped finish, I'm losing thousands of dollars because my bobcats and my pumps are running when I leave here, and that's how I run it. And absolutely, it's a tight ship and it runs perfect. The guy right there, his name's Brandon Borak. Borak. He lives in Clinton, New York. He has a bobcat and a concrete service, and he saw me on YouTube, and he was staying out here in the winter because in New York, the ground's frozen, and he hit me up and said, "Hey, I'm one city over. He wanted to come and check it out. He saw the pump. He has excavators and bobcats, basically the same deal, but they use buggies and wheelbarrows. So he saw this pump, and he's a perfect candidate for it. He's going to end up buying a pump and taking it back to where he's from and reinvent the wheel. No more wheelbarrow and a buggy. And to be honest with you, he's tailor made to be a pumper. I've trained so many people, and he came out for the day and checked it out. So we'll see where he goes if he ends up getting one and coming back. But he came out the job and visited. Here's a tight area we got here. I mean, nothing easy again here. I don't think there's any ever easy pours on this job. It's strange because it's a 2-to-1 slope. You think the water would run off the highest point out the front and off, but it's not the case. There were some serious water issues on this place, and I showed up one day in the pour when it was pouring rain to check it out. So I saw with my own eyes where all the problems would be. So I countered them, no problem, because I saw it. It was a piece of cake to figure out where the problems were. And down here was a problem too. So they didn't want to concrete all this in the sidewalk because it's not really usable. No one really comes down it after I put the stairs in. But we ended up having to put in a slab down here that you'll see coming up. And anyone think of who works for themselves or a company and they're skilled or they know how to finish or they want to go on their own. The only thing you have to do is one thing: believe in yourself, and you can absolutely do this. I mean, you're watching these videos of me, but this is a polished version of me doing it a long time. Because if you saw when I started and the stuff that happened to me, I don't think you'd be that impressed. This is a good version of somebody who put time into it. But the thing is, when you're gonna run your own business and do it, you got to stay in balance. It can't be all just work. You have to have personal, spiritual, whatever you have, and be balanced with work. Too much work and not enough anything else, you become out of balance. And it's happened to me before. So that's advice I would give anyone who wants to go on their own. But if you're a finisher or you have a bobcat or pump and you want to go on your own, there's no reason why you can't be successful. If you believe in yourself, there's no way you can't be. You're going to go through some trials and some stuff, but it won't be like what I went through because I'm completely self-taught at everything I do pertaining to concrete, my business. I've never had a job for anyone. So just the way, because they do it traditional ways where you're from, I never saw the traditional ways. I did it the way I thought it should be done. So some people come out and I do things different. They're like, "Whoa, you kind of do that different," but it's just because I just figured out as I went. I never worked with anybody or for somebody. So you can definitely do it. You just have to be an independent thinker and think out of the box. And if you see something that works for you, take it in your repertoire and use it, and just keep taking it, a little piece of each guy you meet, and you'll have a really nice business going. You're gonna have to go balls to the wall for about a decade, and then you could back off of it, and you see how to do things easier. You see how to go about them easier, and the people you hire early on that you thought were good, years down the road, you'll see they weren't that good. But it's part of the curve of knowing and being distinguished at what you do. It's just a learning curve. There's no way around it, unless you've worked doing it for years, which I didn't. Here's the hallway here. We're scrubbing it out. It's only 3 yards, but it's tight. So we gotta just wait, and it's not going off because it's the ground's cold and it's in the shade. So it's starting to go off. We put a this is a 3,000 same mix, straight cement, no fly ash, microfibers, and 2% polar set in it. Or I think I put CC in it because I didn't put any steel in it. CC is much cheaper, but if you put rebar wire and you can't use it, you got to use polar set, which is much more expensive. But the reason why I put these up was to encourage people to go on their own and that you can. And I'll show any information I can. I'm on this to show information. I'm not here just to have you show me, look at my company. I'm willing to give information or whatever you want to see that'll help you out. Because people showed me and gave me a lot of information. It's my duty as a person to pass it on if I can and it helps anybody. That's how I look at it. I'm not afraid to show you anything that I do. So Javier and Felipe's trialing this out here, skating it back. They're brooming as they go because you really can't get back in there. You can't stand on this wall next to you. The house is there. So they got to broom it as they go. They can't just trowel it, skate all the way in, come back up and re-hit it. So they're just going to broom it as they go. And as usual, it came out perfect. You know, the investors came out and checked the property and said this was the best concrete work they'd ever seen on it. But I pull up to a lot of jobs. I bid them some of these gnarly hillsides, crazy stuff, and I'm like, oh, this is no big deal because I've taken. You have to challenge yourself. Self. I've done the worst stuff you could ever come across, and I pulled it off. So I've distinguished myself where I come across stuff. I've already seen it. It doesn't bother me, so I'm not scared of it. And they'll say, well, three other guys came out here and said they can't do it. Well, I mean, if you look at the Colosseum in Rome or the pyramids in Egypt, somebody did it. It's possible, right? So that's how I look at it. And when things are going bad or I'm plugged up in my pump or whatever, my temperament doesn't change. I've been in these positions so many times because I put myself in uncomfortable positions because concrete's so volatile. And if you panic or things go bad for you and you got 4 or 5 loads stacked up in the street and you're all plugged up and you got a couple 100 feet of hose out and 5 guys, you got a lot of money on the line. You better pull it off. One time could sink you like that, and I'm not afraid of it at all. I've been in that position so many times that it's basically business as usual, but I put myself in those kind of took positions and took those kind of jobs. So you just got to challenge yourself. And if you do this and you want to get into it, yeah, I guarantee 100% you can make it doing it. You could grow it as big or as small as you want to do it. So we're continually to broom this out here. And we got it draining pretty much more of a percentage just because there's no water can leave this side. So we bowled it more than what you would. There's a final product there. You can see how it'll drain. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and that's the final product here, and that's the last pour of this project. Thank you very much for watching my video.